So one of the first things I like to do when I get up in the morning is check my emails, see what the latest offerings are in the firearm world, see what the restocks look like. So I get an email from Century Arms International. Now I have a long history with Century Arms in that I've owned a number of their products, both imported and ones that they've assembled or farmed out from parts kits. One such thing in my collection is the Set-Me. And it's an older Set-Me that looks like it was put together by a blindfolded chimpanzee. However, I can't really hate on that rifle too much, besides the fact it's wildly inaccurate, because it eats every single thing that you feed it, from cheap steel case to South American imported military surplus. Any and every type of 308 or 7.62x5.1 feeds perfectly in that rifle. So I was looking at the AP5 and I'm thinking, well, great, maybe this is a joint project between PTR and Century. They were able to get some old MP5 kits or import them and then assemble them in the States, and these are going to be priced really economically. I'm stoked. So I fire off a text message to my FFL and I'm thinking, these are going to be priced super fair, can't wait. So he texts me back, he's like, hey, yeah, well, they're about $3,000. What? So they're actually the same company that was making them and importing them under the Zenith brand. And they're made on original HK machinery, and that's good and all. And I've had an opportunity to examine a Zenith, a PTR, and an original HK all together. Now, I can tell you that the HK, of course, is the nicest to a point. Actually, the finishing and the welding and everything else in the PTR was a little cleaner even than the HK to a point. Pretty close, but you could tell that almost the PTR in some respects from these two examples was almost a little nicer. Now, I would prefer the HK personally as a HK fanboy, but between the other two, between the HK and the Zenith actually was the closest in terms of where the weld locations were and some of the other cosmetic features. So if you're looking for a really good clone of an HK, the Zenith, or what is the AP5, is probably going to be your best bet. Now, looking at photos of the AP5, it looked pretty crude. So I kind of assumed that it was going to be some type of partnership between PTR and Century. And as I mentioned, it's not. So I'm kind of dumbfounded. And I was expecting the price point to be around maybe $500 to $800, realistically around the $700 or $800 mark, and I think it would have been a hot seller. Now, that being said, it seems that Atlantic Firearms had no issue cleaning out their entire stock at $2,800 per pistol, which is quite crazy. I'm curious as to why, and I wish Century would explain why the pricing on these are continuing to climb with everything else that's being imported lately. I'm not really sure what good explanation anyone really has other than they know what people are willing to pay for this stuff. And it really doesn't make much sense because there's really no value in one of these Turkish copies compared to the actual H&K production guns. I'm just not really sure why anyone would pay $2,800 when you could literally buy an actual HK for less than that. If you can find them in stock right now. I know that's going to be an issue for most firearms at the moment. But I'm really let down by Century because, as I mentioned, they've done a great job through the years of cobbling stuff together. Their Sterling pistols seem to be okay. There's a number of comparable types of firearms, these formerly full-auto submachine guns that they've put together into semi-auto pistols, that were reasonably reliable. And sure, they were ugly, and maybe some things were a little off about them, but they generally fed pretty well. And the only thing that I ever had wrong as far as Century products was Wasser 10s. I had terrible luck with a couple Wasser 10s. So that's a little my history with Century. I'm not really sure what to make of this AP5. As I said, I think it's grossly overpriced, and it looks to be more crude than when they were being imported under the Zenith brand. They are made by MKE out of Turkey, and I really feel they could have done a better job on pricing. And I know this is probably what the market will handle right now, but all things considered, especially the state of the economy in this country, I don't know if this is the right time to be dropping a $3,000 pistol. Seems a little off base. I really hope they're able to come down on the price, and we'll see. So anyway, leave your comments and thoughts below. Tell me what you think about this whole MP5 clone situation that's going on. The prices seem to be steadily climbing on a lot of imports right now. There's a lot of flavors, and hopefully Palmetto gets to the market with their MP5 clone soon enough, so hopefully we can see the pricing fall on a lot of these and be a little more competitive, because we're seeing a world where we had $350 AR-15s not that long ago. So why is it an MP5, essentially even older technology than the AR, why is it so much more expensive than an AR-15? I don't understand that. I don't think there's that much more labor that's going to go into this other than some of the hand-fitting elements to these. So anyway, drop your comments below. Make sure you like this channel. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Hit that thumbs up button for me. Make sure you comment below. It really helps out in the algorithms. Find your favorite content creators in alt tech, and make sure you join GOA and FPC.